Get set for a non-stop music sweep.
As my face are faded by the sun, 10,000 men stand high on the hill, and our silence as the air stood still. 10,000 men trample for the kill. The vultures fly, the wind is high, the warrior fights, the battle of fun, the scavengers wait, each man just hates, death is late, the battle of fun. Hosa, hosa, ho. 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 Searching, sitting on their own. Each one thinking, who is coming home? As we are splashing, streaming through the air. Each one shivers in their heart is fear. The vultures fly, the wind is high, the warrior fights, the battle of fall, the scavengers wait, each man just hates, death is late, the battle of fall. Hosa, hosa, ho. 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 Hosa, hosa, by the sun, 10,000 men stand high on the hill, and our silence as the air stood still. 10,000 men trample for the kill. The vultures fly, the wind is high, the warrior fights, the battle of fun, the scavengers wait, each man just hates, death is late, the battle of fun. Hosa, hosa, ho. 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 Searching, sitting on their own. Each one thinking, who is coming home? As we are splashing, streaming through the air. Each one shivers in their heart is fear. The vultures fly, the wind is high, the warrior fights, the battle of fall, the scavengers wait, each man just hates, death is late, the battle of fall. Hosa, hosa, ho. Hosa, hosa, ho. Hosa, hosa, ho.
Yo, at here for your baby, be a good afternoon at the Voice of Pan-African Media. Yam say, and a dafo friend and couple at the Adom, and memenda edika ewo bosome aye November. Nyamiadom wa share so afimu nyina wodi every January, February, March up to November. Nadom alakwa ena yeda so tiase enye ya hoden enye nyansa enye ye papa yi bintira asafo awrade na hoden ene ne nyansa enti ene de ba bibiara wo bia wie so temenka VOPAM Sports Legendary Sports ena Atenasi Voice of Pan-African Media yem se ba bia wo bia no ya so ne tie na wie ye de ensem bremo yem se be na otwe kakra ni ye ba olaya chena enye bibia ne yototo ne man kakra krenti afi na nyame ya adoma mpanifo ayi pomakwam a ye be hye dwumadi na ase na ye nche ho kra se nsɛmpi sesi ameno ka se Everton ene Manchester United agro na hyehyɛ so denden dia yem se obia ato atena baako ye guso a ye hwɛ die ebekɔ akosi saa so na ye de bewura efiensem mu na otwi mu Champions League so ekɔ so ne nyina ye de ɛho nsɛm ebebre atiefo Sergio Ramos ha wahye ne 100 goal edi ama Real Madrid inye easy se defender ebetumi anya sa ahoden na ode be hye goal na still osan ebobɔ no yeda na se oyi na komam edi dwuma edi ma Real Madrid minim se players bebre so ahwe no a omusia no saa na otwi mu nsɛm bebre so kɔ so na otwi esi mu no boxing Derek Chisora and Alexander Usyk so de boani yewie no na Chisora eda form inti no so yebɛka yebɛhwɛ ho asɛm kakra inti etiefo ye nkyɛ ho bebre ye dan ye ho kakra bia na ye nkyɛ bebre odwumadie no so na ya banti ba ye de ho nsɛm ni nyina bebre mu yem sɛ na otwe sɛ na pepepe a week today Ghana Premier League is back and also back inti no so yebɛka ho asɛm kakra na ye de dwumadie no ahyase inti ye twɛ ho kakra bi na yasan aba
Mama Kwaba, Samre Yejina Vadenvada Strasse, 38, Hanover, Nana Afro Shop, and Nimune Yejine. My uncle inside, Niankosha Yama, Nana Afro Ewo. So say Nana Afro Shop inside na Yawayo. Ya want to ma Odo Bebre, Yawo Kente, Yawa Mebawa Abretre, Ebano lace soa. Aya nankofo bebre nim say Yabano Abretre ha, ye ni lace a papa, Bao Banana Afro Shopper, Yawo lace bebre, Yawa shedder. Colors a hodro, there will be different kinds. Yawa sweet cheddar, Yawa German cheddar, and yawa normal cheddar. Nya opesa wo de pambia, sa wo ye oba, sa wo ye bema. The opesa wo de cheddar no eye bia, eno so ubetumi e de aye. Kobano enwi soa. You were riga ya dida. You Brazilian hair, you human hair, papa, you Peruvian hair. The open no Gianni womb, the opesa odi nyama gum, Nina o banana Afro shopper, Nina ubenyabi ato. Nana Afro accessoire ana Africa aba abruchi.
Yo etiefo yem say ye twa ho kakra bi yasan aba a ye ba abehye dwumadi na se Saviola mami Musa we kakra se player anase coach anase management members why na yes popular e team
obia said to me yes what me popular because if you play your role well you become famous in your role. So that question, it depends on how you are managing with your role or your performance in the role that you are being given. So I think it is a role that you have to give your 100% best. So I think it is a normal thing for every person to be perfect in his role.
And say coach bi so ka say the players attitude inti ahwe ya match umbebo no umu entimi ahwe umu ntimi wini a and also so uhu ne say because me say coach no players attitude ni na show nsa una o manage players no inti di intra
and it sometimes depend the mentality of the winning mentality. So if the player doesn't have a good winning mentality and the coach have to base on that the players they need to have a winning mentality. It doesn't mean the personal character or your individual character. It means collective character of a team.
Okay, Sabira so yam say ono so ede no ordinary nchire aba yo etiefo yam say mre na ni enti no meja afidie nim ede ama Saviola na ono so ede afa amano ni nsem kakra ntu wi ade ho no yam say meso meto aso na mede eno so aba enti Saviola ekwana emu abia amantu etiefo oti ode wo fama ye
etiefo na ebeka about Bundesliga achepa na ede yetna fidie we so ebeka Bundesliga since almost at league no Intiman antina asiam kan about Bundesliga ni Premier League ni national team and a second Africa Cup of Nations na bad next week no yamiya aduma ne ebe ka mo de kosin awo Bundesliga, Premier League, Champions League and a friend say Africa Cup of Nations and a CK akuno the squad was free for the coming nations qualify double header against Sudan. but Oshe this week bonus here Nura and this week no Sase Koso Oshe Nura very brave and Colombo 1-1 and a way Oshe this afternoon Leipzig near Freiburg Omobo and Union Berlin against Bielefeld, Mainz 04 against Schalke, Augsburg against Hertha Berlin, and then Stuttgart against Frankfurt, Dortmund against Bayern Munich, and then Wolfsburg, Hoffenheim, Leverkusen against Mönchengladbach. And also League table now. League table no obia nimse Bayern Munich ere and a muda towards a muda names see Bayern Munich more first with 15 points and a Dortmund a more a with 15 points and a Leipzig with 13 points, Leverkusen 12 points and a Mönchengladbach 11 points, Augsburg 10, Bremen 10, and then Union Berlin 9, Stuttgart 10, and Stuttgart 9, and then Frankfurt 9, Wolfsburg 9, Hoffenheim 7, and then Freiburg. And then Hertha Berlin 4-4, and then Osha Muamuda Tono Kampoa. Mainz a more 6 match without any point, and a Schalke a more 6 match with 2 points, and a more 2 next year. And so Osha and then match no encounter a very tough game because Omu 2 teams in no Obia ni current from this season. So a match Obia Pesero Obia Peso Osha match no, and also about German League 2 now. A course to see Hanover Mubo 1-0 against Awel, and Bochum Omu lose 2-0 against Grotterford, and Nürnberg Omubo 1-1 against Düsseldorf, and Darmstadt Omubo China against Paderborn, and Regensburg Omubo China against Osnabrück, and St. Pauli Omubo against Karlsruhe, and Kiel Omubo against Hamburg, and Nura Heidenheim ne Wolfsburg boy 4-1, and Sandhausen 2, Braunschweig 2. And also Central League table now League 2 now. Hamburg no more a decline 16 points and a fourth or more 12 points and a Kiel were 11 points and a Bochum were 11, Hanover were 10, Osnabrück were 9, and Regensburg more 9, Darmstadt were 9, Auer were 9, and Heidenheim were 8, Paderborn were 8, Sandhausen were 8, and Düsseldorf 8, Braunschweig 8, and 7, no St. Paul was 7, Nürnberg 7, and Karlsruhe 4, and Wolfsburg kickers or more 1 point. So this year second league now. Hamburg time be a muya this end of the day no normally the man survive our qualification to the Bundesliga. So no Premier League now. Manchester of course is here, Manchester ne a winner boss is here. Manchester ne Everton a boss is here now. And our score line is here our Premier League now. Everton were 1 and offense Manchester so 1 and our league table so Manchester and Liverpool win over names is here. Southampton award names is here with 16 points and Liverpool so was 16 points and Uber offense a more relegation zone now. Relegation zone I quite say and then Manchester notice a muhu or more obiable winner and sana who the obit my day obey a bekai to no but and come for a court or friend say league matches Siciano Manchester 4 hour leading 2-1 against Everton and Crystal Palace Omobo against Leeds United, Chelsea ball against Sheffield United, West Ham Omobo against Fulham, and West Bromwich against Tottenham, and Leicester City Omobo against Wolverhampton, and China Liverpool Omobo against Man City, and Aston Omobo against Aston Villa, and Southampton win Newcastle 2-0, and Brighton goalless draw against Southampton. And also a friend say a league table now. And Southampton was 16 points, Liverpool was 16 points, and Leicester were 15, and Tottenham were 14, Everton were 13, Wolverhampton were 13, Chelsea were 12, Aston Villa were 12, and Arsenal were 12, and Man City were 11, Newcastle were 11, and Leeds were 10, Manchester United were 10, and Crystal Palace were 10, and West Ham were 8, Brighton were 6, and Fulham was 4, and West Bromwich were 3, and Burnley were 2, and Sheffield United number 2 with 1 point. And you can put this year league na league start no teams no bia we no so akwa say won team who team obaya did this enya did this because Kasene lose kiton so we ne and kiton so we ne Kasene so lose so come say this year no league na very interesting but as never call Africa Cup of Nations so next week African qualifiers no e basro but last qualifiers no mo boy no friends Chad lose 2-0 against Mali and Sudan lose 2-1 against Burkina Faso, and Uganda we win 2-0 against Malawi. South Africa we win 1-0 against Sudan. And Watini Omulusu 4-1 against Senegal. And Benin winning 1-0 against Sierra Leone. And Guinea winning 2-0 against Nairobi against Namibia. And Rwanda lose 1-0 against Cameroon. And Congo lose winning 3-0 against Guinea-Bissau. And Lesotho 2. And Nigeria 4. Gabon 2. Angola 1. But features now about this weekend. No, I hear tight features. But this week Mauritania ball against Burundi, and Kenya ball against Comoros, Senegal against Guinea-Bissau, Libya against Equatorial Guinea, Guinea against Chad, and Burkina Faso against Malawi, Gabon against Gambia, Cameroon against Mozambique, Zambia against Botswana, and Algeria against Zimbabwe, Congo against Eswatini, and other side now Mali ball against Namibia, South Africa ball against Santom Principal, Ghana mobile against Sudan, Morocco against Central African Republic, and Cape Verde against Rwanda, Tunisia against Tanzania, Niger against Ethiopia, Nigeria against Sierra Leone. And also on the 14th November on the 14th 11th almost about away home matches no return leg no. Congo ball against Angola, Egypt against Togo, Uganda ball against South Africa, and Benin ball against Lesotho, Ivory Coast ball against Madagascar, and Burundi ball against Mauritania, Chad against Guinea, Comoros, Kenya, Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, and Equatorial Guinea, Liberia, Zimbabwe, Algeria, Malawi, Burkina Faso, Santom Principal against South Africa, Eswatini against Congo, South Sudan against Uganda, Gambia, Gabon, Mozambique, Cameroon, on Botswana, Zambia. You know, we'll have group A now. We call group A now. I'm more tight power. We say Ghana group say Ghana won with 6 points, and South Africa more there with 6 points, and Sudan omuni point, and say Santom Principal more amuso ni point. So Ghana group no akwa say obianim say end of the day no South Africa ne Ghana we there and we call enim. So they were about African qualifiers no, and but Sika kuna squad na warfare against say Afre offer no against Sudan and Ghana no. The goalkeeper Robert Razak Abeloa and Lawrence Otizige, Richard Ofori, and Omuna goalkeepers. But defenders now Sanfre Baba Rahman and Gideon Mensah and Alexander Juku and Joseph Aido, Nicholas Opoku, John Boy. Oba midfielders now Ofre Emmanuel Lomote, Wakas Mubarak and Thomas Partey, and then Bernard Annan and Harrison Afo. Oba strikers now was Sanfre Andre Ayew, and I was Sanfre Tariq Ofosu, and Ofre Fenison. Ofre Tariq Ofosu, and Ofre Ghana new Obo Crystal Palace no. Number 15 or San Fernando, and you can Indian can squad no bet Musa on Indian can squad here. And a strikers so Fred Jordan Ayew, and a John Antwi, and a Kale Ekuba, and a new player by Kwa offer Obo Gemini and the 18er, and a coach now Fene Jamie Leveling. Siciano were withdraw from the squad no, and a what Fred Prince Edu Kofi Obo became Chelsea on also 16 years what for another year replacement because Jeremy no ono your view about German and the 21 side and also here on person Magana at the moment so we don't want free squad no any currently see about say but according to source now Sika kuna say your technical director no FN Lipe no and our combine no and our buy no the match and a wire what invite no our Black Star so player no say okay it's a very good system but no Onyan na adwin say the Baba Ghana sisia no so we draw out no Africa Ghana squad no so ni ade sisia na say why say CK anaya national coach no play no uni na nye good contact good relationship na wa friend no say Baba Ghana amira born nye radio sisia born no in Africa so ya dia e ha adwin sisia na ama technical director no Ghana ye appointed sisia no onu di nkomo say dash over there but some convince boy no there Obama Ghana but to share Sika Kuna squad now all the ball against friendly match against Mali ne Katano where you drop a place with Bra Film Kasim Adam say onim and na ohwe play back one so Bennett Mensah on so onim and other players are what frame what require na due to corona into where you ebima frame and na ohwe mo bonus sticker not say Christopher Nchuaje on one team because of the team no one allow no because almost so Ghana no ba on team money bob almost quarantine so teams be no almost so mama players akobo our more countries because of corona now I'm teams to be careful this time this year so I'm a siga on the players and then the difference of frame no on team from because of pandemic no so results about no anything blaming time the BC blame corona it's not matter about the person performance about blame corona because of sika corona on team friend the best players or PSL or uncle or from anything now there ultimately free or mom we are available or around ultimately against Ghana Sudan so the woman said the Pabota Blaster Chino and players that sika kuna frame say obi I don't know bomber Ghana na end of the day no ebedi kunum the our sika kuna squad now or the represent Ghana next week no
yo yam say tie for Nuru Saviola ene so edene de buy no so de akogu to de akogu de ne meso me chance me to aso every hanum yam say ye bewrem Spanish La Liga nim na otwe si mu no yam say nsem no bebre sisi ebi wini ebi lusu board yes enti se ulusu a no afa ne sa wini anu afa waje wani se obodraw so na enije no wachim yam say ye behwe de koye echi ene seta Vigo ebo 1-1 ena Huesca ne eba eno so ma schedule eno EMC a postpone kakra ma so enti sa ne kwena Barcelona no Betis eno so sa ena Osasuna eso so ene Sevilla Atletico Madrid ne Cadiz Getafe ene Villarreal Real Sociedad ene Granada Levante ene Deportivo Alaves Real Valladolid ne Atletico Bilbao ena Valencia ene Real Madrid eno so de ekoye honom no enti na omo so no league table no eno so de tie ni Real Sociedad ena ono so ehuredi kan 17 points Real Madrid etoso mienu a ono so 16 points 3 Villarreal a ono so 15 points ena etoso 4th Atletico Madrid 14 5th Cadiz ono so 14 ena 6th position no eso ye Granada a ono so 14 points 7th Real Betis ono so 12 points 8 Getafe ono so 11 points ena 9 Echi on so 11 points 10 no Osasuna also 11 points Athletic Bilbao on so 10 points and Barcelona 12 points are also at that 9th position or 9 points or that 10th 12th position sana etie and Valencia so 13 at the 13th position on so kuta 8 points 14th from Deportivo Alaves also 8 points and 15th Eibar on so 8 points and Sevilla so 7 points also the 15 and 17th so set Vigo almost 7 points with that 17th position Levante 18th position almost 5 points Huesca also so 19 ono so edida or the 19th position wo 5 points na last way no Real Valladolid ono so one day our swaketa no kra ono so 3 points out that 20th position intisana so etie tisana yeberem Italian Serie A anim eno so yewrem a Genoa etena fiuma Torino ekotwa 2-1 sa ene ko Sassuolo nil Udine nil Cagliari ene Sampdoria goalless Benevento ene Spezia and so munyamwe Parma Calcio 1913 omune Fiorentina Lazio ni Juventus Atalanta Inter Milan Genoa any Roma Torino any Crotone Bologna and SSC Napoli AC Milan Hellas Verona and so edebebo ani na watwimu na no so yakwa atwede no so yam say for the first time na cheye pa hu say yasha competition ase at this time no AC Milan already kan yam say AC Milan 16 points omun eni di kan Sassuolo etoso mienu omu 15 points Juventus etoso miensa omu so 12 points 4th position Atalanta omu so 12 points and Napoli so toso 5th almost so 11 points. Inter Milan 6th position 11 points. Hellas Verona 11 points also did that 7th position. 8th near Roma also toss 11 points. ɛna Sampdoria ɛso so toss 10 ɔno so 10 points wow Fiorentina Lazio so at a 10th position ɔno so ɛwɔ 7 points Fiorentina ɛwɔ 7 points or 11 Cagliari at a 12th position also 7 points Bologna ɛwɔ 6 points also that 13 14 Benevento also 6 points 15 Parma also 5 points ɛna 16 Genoa also ɛwɔ 5 points 17 Spezia also 5 points Torino at the 18 also 4 points Udinese 4 points also 19 Croton 20 ono any tra eto okra enti sana eno so etie ewo hom enti se yehwe eho so French League 1 no yam say ye behwe eno so de ekosi ye Strasbourg etena fie mama say ekotwa no eka baako wantumi anti Bordeaux ene Montpellier eno umbo ne nra Strasbourg ene Marseille Bordeaux ene Montpellier PSG ene Rennes Brest ene Lille Lens ene Reims Lorient ene Nantes Metz ene Dijon Nemis any Angers and Nice any Monaco Lyon any Saint Etienne and also so the Etienne no and so you better league table no atwede no you better so the ekosi here and also so say you hweso a na che PSG wo huri abeda kan 21 points Lille na toso 2 on so 19 points Rennes etoso 3 almost so 18 points Marseille etoso 4 18 points Nice etoso 5 17 points 6 no Lyon 14 points 7 AMS 14 points Montpellier etoso 9 ono so 14 points Lens 10 ono so 13 points sana Angers eso da 11th ono so 12 points Bordeaux da 11th da 12 ono so 10 points and Saint Etienne eso 10 points ono so da 14 position 15 positions Reims on also 8 points 16 Lorient on also 8 points 17 Nantes on also 8 points 18 Nice on also 8 points Strasbourg 19 on also 6 points and Dijon on any track to okra on also 3 points in TM say French League guys no and also so the ekopi mu ehonom no enti say sa na tie dia na chese ye nche hu bebre and also so no ye de mu bewura na otwi mu Champions League the ekosi ye yam say Lokomotiv Moscow etena firma Atletico Madrid ene ne kokon 80.1 omuko 1-1 ena Salzburg eso so etena ma Bayern Munich etwa no ekansia omuti mu mienu eno so eno no Shakhtar Donetsk eso so etena firma Borussia Mönchengladbach eso so Borussia Mönchengladbach etwa no ono so otwa no 6 otwa ni nsia went me ansi madabraka Real Madrid eso so ehye 2 Inter Milan Eshe 3 Inter Milan she 2 FC Porto 3 Marseille 0 Manchester City 3 Olympiacos 0 Atalanta hey what a score line Atalanta 0 Liverpool 5 Atalanta last year Atalanta former no mu wono nem ni say afinko mbesa de ewrem Champions League na so omuhia Liverpool no mu so omuhia emema FC Midtjylland eso tena firma Ajax ekobon 2-1 Chelsea echi Rennes etwa na kapol miensa omansim adabraka Sevilla 3 FC Krasnodar eso so etimutu Zenit St Petersburg 1 Lazio 1 Club Brugge eso tena firma Borussia Dortmund kotwa na ka miensa omantimi ansim adabraka Barcelona 2 Dynamo Kiev 1 Ferencváros almost so 1 Juventus 4 oi asemo na otwi di amanfo tena omunam match na yam say me madwene me hwe mu na yam bufu na me pese me hwe kura na me pete mete ho asem Miami Manchester United etena akototo papa asoma Istanbul Basaksehir etwa ne kamienu ema omuti mu baako bad performance West and chesa bibia ne weko yema omo enti sa ene no sokoye ena Sport Leipzig eso so ehye Paris Saint-Germain 2-1 eno so de ekosi eno no nti etiefo yam se de ehoho na otwi mu eso eno no na ye ncha hu bebre ye de mu ebewura boxing so mu ansana ye free honum kra aba ifie yam se raboxi man na otwetwa mu no Delik Chisora ene Alexander Usyk de bo ani na omu de se de bia ntokwa ene dede na omu de bo ani no Derek Kasa bebre na akon ne ba wi na chese wabono around 12 for the anonymous points abono around 12 inti sana ntokwa ne sokosi ene wi na Usyk se ono opefire anase Anthony Joshua AJ ɛna ɛne ndi abo aninti either sɛ Anthony Joshua ebeja ne belt no ama no anaso ɔne ne beba abɛko ama na defeat no agye belt no nti no saa na ɛno soso ɛwɔ hɔ nti saa na ɛno soso ɛkɔ ɛwɔ na awotwi mu yɛbɛwuram na yagye nsɛm no bebree yɛm sɛ mehwɛ deɛ kɔɔ so na awotwi mu a nneɛma bi si ana na ano ɔden ano deɛ mekasa ano nyɛ den ana kyɛ sɛ meboa na ano ɔden yie ɛyɛ wohwɛ player bi te sɛ Sergio Ramos a sometimes mitimi tena se na mahwɛ makama dreams enti Africa anaasɛ Ghana yɛbɛtumi anya player bi a onim ball bo anaasɛ watumi agyen naso for so many years kyɛ sɛ ball no wo sɛ da bia wo sɛ the same ahoɔden no the same experience no kyɛ sɛ the way ni bi bia kyɛ wotumi sɛ ɔbɔ enti yɛbɛtumi anya sɛ defenders ni bia na because wo hwɛ na asɛ ɔyɛ extraordinary ne power ne pi bia no mitumi dwene ho saa na menti ase aduru time akun ni mu ayɛ deɛ ɛsɛ enya nipa baako ɛma ne soa team no wɔ na beti so no ɔno nko atumi gisi wɔ sɛ ɔbɛyɛ ampa ɛna no hwɛ deɛ ɔde yɛ Inter Milan fo ya 2-2 down minute no bia nimsa agro no bɛbɛ wie enso frɛkyerɛ ɛde ne ti kɔto atena ɛma ɛka no bɛyɛ 3-2 captain fantastic ebi te sɛ Sergio Ramos ɛno bi na abrebia ɛyɛ na anka yɛhia bi ɛwɔ Ghana yɛ team mu enso so no sɛ ɛbɛyɛ na mu sɛ one day yɛbɛnya Sergio Ramos baako a ɔno so so efiri Ghana Saviola ansana yɛbɛba efie nsɛm mu no me bi nsɛm nim kakra na yehunu sɛ de na awotwi mu ɛkɔɛ nam sɛ aka nsɛm no bebree ohɛ mɛfa saa match we Manchester United ɛne Everton match no omugu so a omubɔ na asa Everton for the form na asa aba form kakra ana woni manya adwene so far nem sɛ players no mienu bi play even James Rodriguez krano on the fitness level no form nem sɛ enti afei because we have matches mienu bi o mabo bolu so a na no Southampton say Southampton abeda first o timi manage a o share na say very impressive enti no who say di enti na ma say o ma ho de na ba form and players ni bi fit
no looking at the Premier League I think Everton they have a very good signing, they have a quality players, but looking at the Premier League they are not the kind of team that have the mentality to win the league. That is the first point we have to know, because luckily, unfortunately, they were able to win their first 4 or 5 matches in the Premier League, and which was very good for Everton for the first time in so many years. So I think I'm not surprised of the score line currently, but I think this is how it should be. So I'm not surprised of Everton not winning or draw or something like that. But I think it was lucky that they were able to perform for the first 5 matches, and this is the normal Everton that we know, that they are not a team that have to put your trust or you have to say, okay, end of the season they will be on the Champions League zone. But on the beginning of the league, everybody think that if they maintain like this, it could be surprising to see them in the Europa League zone or the Champions League zone. But now I'm not convinced if they will perform well in the league. Okay. So, but the teams that I'm tipping that they will perform well in the league is the team that we always know: Manchester, Liverpool, Chelsea, Leicester, as well as. And then maybe some of the surprise teams like Wolverhampton or even Southampton that we are seeing. The coach is a very good coach who have the eye of bringing talented players. He's the same caliber of coach like how do you call the Liverpool coach Klopp. So I think he's going to do well this year with Southampton, but you cannot guarantee Premier League till it is played finished. Okay.
Yeah, say Carlo Ancelotti experience coaching role as a manager or pedigree and kasa born him tino the way we see starting our team no onya sure say crop by and sana Liverpool now on and off sa it do be no bank up on the pana fi matia bana man for bashina but later on who say even the sign a perfect the change in the bench be bia okay onya sure say sa strategy ni bi na mine or develop and access have no person the Everton
Yeah, I think he have the good ambition to win the league, and then he want to win the league for Everton. And if that happens, that would be good for Ancelotti, because Everton is a team, they need to sign quality players. Let's say the front line of Everton is very good, but they need some mentality, fighting spirit. But I think they are not the kind of team that you can be convinced of winning the Premier League. because or it should be a surprise like Leicester City when they won it in 2015 with unknown players, with unexpected players, and all of a sudden they were able to win the league. And Leicester have some mentality, and this mentality I don't see that mentality in how do you call it in Everton, because looking at the time Leicester won the league, they have Mires and they have Valdes, who is still performing great in the league, scoring many goals. I think for me currently is one of the best strikers in the Premier League currently, because Mohamed Salah is not scoring like it is before. He's in good form, playing very well, but you cannot compare both of them together, because if you see Valdes is making goals every week, performing, there's no goal in Leicester without Valdes, and you can see it's a player inconsistent. But Everton, I don't think they will make it in the top 4.
Okay. Sana no rehu say on sure so betimi make you on top 4 nim. Okay, yeah hwe ni say yemfa Everton de no enso na hwe score line no de ebeba. Na wo hwe Chelsea. Onya sure say Chelsea Frank Lampard amanfo who say you can central fund be must start a bash no, but be musi enya abotre man, because or hihye team no so far so good no. Wo hwe ekwan a wa fast na wo hihye team na say no me hu so mu wo form ai na no mu chire ni twa no eka miensa so no Champions League nim. Before that na league no so no wadi kan awini ansana o kwako ras ha match nim nti no asem crofo press ebi mu create make comments bi say wo hwe Kai Havertz ni Timo Werner players are first class players ya kotoma asem modern ball, but so far so good. Last Timo Werner ne Kai Havertz no mutimi nya go edema Chelsea nti the league no before so mu bebo Champions League no Kai Havertz she go Timo Werner she go Hakim Ziyech so she go. So o here na chese sa players no muto mudumba aso mu form no e was, but amanfo expectation here higher than the omu hu ni say no. Me hu say Timo Werner na Kai Havertz no as I feel last time Timo Werner make comment be say feel so ball no aso hu bi da say one attacker now who say 3 or 4 defenders ejina unchen at the same time chese baby abefa bia na osan make say wo hwe omu tackle na enye ordinary defenders bi so mu height anazo so otimi twa na ni hwe bi hu say we be man kasa a chese oni akoma de bobol hu na wo be panic wo ya sure say eno na Timo Werner entimi nkonanim ana say afredi o jereba.
Timo Werner, he came from a different league to the Premier League, and those players that Lampard bought, they all play in different league. Hakim Ziyech is from Holland, Ajax, and then Timo Werner from Leipzig, and then Kavheit from Leverkusen. Okay, those players, they compare the Bundesliga and then Holland League to Premier League is totally different, because the kind of play in the Bundesliga and then the kind of play in Premier League is totally different. So I think they need time to adopt the system of England play and then use their own mentality to be used to the league. But I'm so happy that they are able to adopt the league so quickly. They are playing well in the league currently, because I know many players who have been bought into the Premier League, but they are not able to perform very quick like they are doing, because they have been scoring goals, doing assists, playing regular 90 minutes, which is very wonderful, and they need time to adopt this so they can use to the Premier League. And the team from Lampard is a very good team, and if they don't perform this year, I'm still gonna be fan of Lampard team.
The players is very young.
The players is very young, and then as time goes on, when they adopt the system, know the use of the Premier League world, they're going to be like Chelsea. We know for 4 years ago, the lack of Lampard, John Terry, Mark Essien, Joe Cole, and then those set of players Chelsea have in 10 or 8 years time, that we know that they were one of the best teams in Europe. So I think the team from Lampard, we don't need to count them out. We need to count them in every day, because they will surely make an impact in the Premier League.
Okay, and say sana ye hwene dia ase me hu say ball so ase ma study we 1 or 2 memusa on so obeji atum wonya sure say ase supporters na enko park na affect game na my hu the quality of the players in the game na. I
think before the league started without fans, or even last year, for the first 4 matches was very bad, but as at now the players are used to the situation. And if you are looking at the speed of the game, it is not normal. But at the beginning of the pandemic, when the league resumed, it was like preseason games or it was like a friendly match. But now I see it totally different. I see it normal now, even though there's no supporters in the game. But if you see the maximum speed, the players are motivated, they are playing, and then I see it is normal. So now some of the players feel comfortable playing in the stadium without supporters. Some of them don't feel comfortable. So it is now two different ways. But I think that the players, they are all settled in this situation now because they enjoy the moment. And then when I watched last time Liverpool against Atlanta, the speed of the game was totally different.
Yeah.
There was here, and then you could see the players was very motivated even without the supporters. So I think the players, some of them, they're happy now, but they wish supporters would be back in stadium. But it is something we have to count it in many months to come.
Okay, and also say Ghana Premier League no be shase hon ye be boye pa me nyame aduma na otwe se ne pepepe omu start na yam say yentimi free foreign stories ni e wa bra ye ni san komo Manchester City and Liverpool Klopp and Guardiola yam say one of the toughest way as say premiership because Manchester United ni Liverpool na ni nim say anka omu form a omu hia e classico no nka ye butubutu no yam say no ase ye nheda ehunu sa it is a first no it is say no yam say Man City akwa mani nua won say say anka okọ Kumasi na sa Accra na ha sini form no Olympics wo form no ka be ya say kotokoshe na say bibi sa na boss Olympics so akọhye kotoko na say has be hye kotoko sa na kimfesa so akọhye has ahye no nanka balance into as a Manchester for Man City for us kuma omunuama na uhu ne say na ohe player to player Aguero ne Bobby Firmino ne Salah nomne omu form na hu last season na omu di remu both Champions League ne league no
because looking at both teams, they are all struggling to win matches this season. Very, very difficult because Liverpool lost their best defender Van Dijk, and then Man City also lost their top striker Aguero. And look at the form Man City have this year. It's not like the Man City we know because they have been losers of matches which they are not supposed to lose. So Liverpool no even though with the bad performance, they lost 7-2 against Everton, Aston Villa, but still they are still performing. Even though I was thinking that a defeat will give them a little bit problem, but nevertheless Liverpool are still in momentum. They are still going on. After that loss, they are able to win more games. Even Champions League win 4-0. But even though they were struggling to win many games, and which is very difficult, and then this current player Thiago Yota, who is very
among for crap so much as can drop Bobby Firmino na can fight Thiago Yota
who is very good for Liverpool setup. He always come in with a difference.
Hold on, breaking news. Yam see Guswa ye di agro ne ya ne mudeni say me buy no me atiafo oni media me Manchester supporter chese we ya ne hwe yi sometimes me just try say me jai team no but Sada no cry me odon beba more Everton di can she go di can United say 62 second minute and ya 62 minutes United they lead Everton 2-1 Goodison Park just a grown my there I wish senka me share life so no ye wo ha tietiefo ne kan ne be so mo ete say de so mo na Saviola rem na fe yenko.
So the performance no I think Liverpool playing Man City tomorrow's game without our best defender Van Dijk, but even though Klopp is able to bring some 19 years old Williams and sometimes Fabinho who is also getting injury, meaning that Liverpool is going to play without our best defender, and nevertheless the forward for Liverpool is going to give all their best for Liverpool to have a very good day to win. So I think the best of this game tomorrow is Liverpool will win 2-1 or goalless draw or 1-1. This is what I'm thinking for tomorrow's game, but I know end of the day Liverpool will not lose any point in Man City.
Okay, so I saw Liverpool all do Manchester City more goals. Yeah, nevertheless I saw Liverpool will demolish Manchester City because one Manchester City any more even game score much struggle. And Liverpool before so bet Liverpool no ejina o Mayfield no. And I heard Mayfield no so Liverpool Mayfield no sometimes crank make us be a chire no na nwunu kakra o Mayfield no is solid actually before so be rama o de ball be kwa to matene mu no ya na edi ye pa just Aston Villa 4 and so ndie tie for mu fanche ya agro ne tete mu ne timi twa Liverpool 7 afi intino sa na etie team abetena ho a we defending champion be show mark 7 no na chese question mark yo etie for yam se ene ye nche dwumadie no bebre ye be wura mu ofie na ansane ye be wura mu ofie no yam se ye twa ho kakra bi ye ba ye de efie ensem no eso ebeto aso na afi yakoye nim tie dan ho kakra bi aba.
Let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. I say this is our own. Let's cherish our own. Division 1 League is back again. This is our own. Let's cherish our own. Ghana Premier League is back again. This is our own. Let's cherish our own. Women's Premier League is back again. Every day, what dog can want? NJ can want. The day, ratio more. Say a day, what dog can want? NJ can want. The day, ratio more. Since the days of Baba Yara, we've been there. Since the days of Shamu,
back.
We've been there. Division 1 League is back again. Since the days of Abeta Saki, Women's Premier League is back again. Since the days of Asamoah, we've been there. Premier League is back again.
Why that's a mobidika? Yeah, na yes you pay you. Yeah, rob we dia. What
let's cherish our Premier League is back again. This is our own.
This is our own. I am Mumia for Odoka Cranship.
Premier League is back again.
Ghana Premier League. It's no ya do Odoka Cranship. Oh, talk, oh, to media, oh, to has, oh, to better for you.
Since the days of Emmanuel Claude.
So, no, not that we are my said, yeah, attractive Katra. If you say a honoma, yenya players, no, if we Emma Omukobo professional, but yes, a Ghana player be over Fortuna Desido. And you're 50 years old, boy, Ebia no Boko Toko has, Ebia no Boking face, Sano so Eddie Rem Elho. It is any no. It's the end day. You have a Ghana Premier League and common asset. Yami Adman, I watch send a pepe. 13 for me, the boy need den. It is Hana Ebe. Open match, Adriana Stars, the Mahim crew. Umbe Trefie, no match, Accra House of Folk. Almighty Accra House of Folk. The glorious Accra House of Folk, Umbejo Mutata or the Mahim crew. No with the Abweni, den. Can who say a ball proper Ghanaian league, you know? Adriana and a defending cup, no. Omune a defending champions. Oh, proper league now, a boy and a yeah, more northern sector and southern sector. Yeah, ball proper league, you know. Omu energy, Adriana and a defending champions. Anna Ebekano. And you know, Omu first match open game, Yamia Duma. Omune Accra House of Folk. Accra House of Folks is an editima. So far, no musu players no. Omu da so hobe breo hono. E no ma say beefun up. Enti ebeye butu. Se empire ebe Ghana o twese ne. Ene beni agesene da bia se Ghana Premier League no. Esa abaso. Enye da bia ne ebe ba betra hanu ma ye beka foreign news, ye beka foreign balls, ye be hwe foreign ball. Enti ene enije no e wo suru yi. Ene ye ncha hu bebre yem se ye ne coach be twetwe nkomo. Ewo Premier League yeah no be twetwe nkomo e be mo na bonidin enti e woni din a mo be hunu ba bia ono so o kasa free enti atiefo emre ni nie yo ye cha ho ye be to adwumadie ne so ye be ye free na ya to adwumadie ne so den yo Saviola who ne say
yeah I think the coming back of Ghana Premier League is very, very exciting. Life will be normal to some of the football those who are interested with football and those who are down with football in Ghana, especially the people are very bored because for a long time there was something like no football. But the biggest news is that what I'm happy about Ghana League coming back is what Asamoah returning home, because I saw when his first went to training for Lagos City, there was a lot of fans. It was full like Black Star camp or a Black Star match, and I was saying this is the kind of support, this is the kind of motivation the old players have to bring to the Ghana Premier League. And then the brother of Sule Muntari also signed for Asante Kotoko, which is also a biggest boost for Asante Kotoko. And if looking at some of the legends who play in the Europe, when they are returning back home, sometimes it brings the love of the players and the supporters back into the club, because everyone was thinking Asamoah Gyan will return to Liberty, or he will go to Kotoko or House of Folk, and people are even hearing that Sule Muntari might go to House of Folk or a Kotoko. So I think it is time for Sule Muntari or some of the players who are still fit can also beef up some of the teams in the Premier League so that to be competitive, because some people will go to stadium because of Asamoah Gyan.
Okay.
So I think it is very important for the ex-players sometimes to end up ending their career in their native land or some of the clubs in Africa, which make the league very interesting.
Okay. Yam say etie for me di kan ye pese ye ne obi atwetwe nkomo kakra ntino se hu se ya ye slow kakra e man en how na yam say na otwi mu de se otie sports a Ghana Premier League no ho nsem en ye beka no more, so ye beka no more ntino se usu wo team a support a na odi ho asem aba ntino sesi ya program yi opa ubetumi asend o message bia opeso send ba bia platform no so ye beka ma ye de number no so agu screen ani opesa ofre na uka ensem a yake yesra ofra ya ma ne ensem a yake ho asem ofra eno so ye beje so na ye ne akasa nti saa na ye ntino atiefo yam se ekwan ne da ho DJ me pa cho fre hwe no me de nom to see to me friend nti fre coach Samuel Buoduma me media mafo e coach ono na ye ne no ebedi enkomo awie ye ne bedi nkomo be 2 minutes bi na afi ya hwe de no so eko nti no Saviola osha yam se league no amafo ya hoboa papa.
And then the interesting part of the story is that looking at the Ghanaian clubs now, they all have a very good jersey now. I saw the jersey of Chelsea. It was very nice. Across the Folk, very nice. Asante Kotoko and Asante Gold. And they all have a jersey that can compete to some of the foreign teams, because when I was in Ghana at those days, seeing Kotoko jersey, it's always the same red one without any function, without any design.
Okay.
But looking currently, I saw some of the Ghanaian jersey. I even have the passion for this jersey more than some of the European teams, because the jersey really look nice, and I think they're improving. But the only problem that we are facing is what? The sponsor for the league, how to promote the league, how to make our league competitive to the other leagues. That's the most important now we have to deal with, because looking at the players and looking at how the clubs are trying to go to the next level, it is time for them to get good sponsors that can also promote the league into different levels.
Sabila, hold on na me fa if you news no kakra emfam we be to aso. Yam say nyame ya adoma 13th of November Ghana Premier League no baso. Na say baso fixtures no say de esi atie nie. Yam say Aduana Stars betra do man nkru age Accra House of Folk. Tata one of the tough match I wish send come take park no so na me hwe bi if you want ma wow Stars eso betena wa woni brekum Chelsea e de bebo ani Ashanti Gold ene Carrera FC e de bebo ani Liberty Professionals so Accra omni bechem United ene no so e de bebo ani ena Wafa versus Kim Faisal last year Kim Faisal ankoyi ama omutie hwese afiwe nyame begina alaje chine niema akoyi ama no sana Ebusua Dwarfs ene Elmina Sharks eno Central Regional affair na se derby sana mekan Central Region derby enti sana tie ena Mediama versus Great Olympics Olidade Oligogo Olisumui ena edebebo ani ntia no so de ebekwa akwesi no and Asante Kotoko versus 11 Wonders, Inter Allies, any Dreams FC, yam se de ebekɔ no enti yɛhwɛ sɛ nyame yɛ adom a ɛno so de ebesi bia yo Saviola yam se yegu so wohwɛ ma on sɛ Justice Blay for Kotoko on sɛ last year Bolon from Midiama to Kotoko oba no excellent performance outstanding na Kotofo ne yeso mbeto no but you need the situation ko the boy no ewo Midiama sesi a wo ye training oka Midiama etima o de best start so ati ase na Matthew enum kujo yenya ne tie se ono so akodon Lagos cities na Asamoah the legend ono so adjoin Lagos cities so ati ase enti no ase me de sesa ne na Muniru Muntari Sule Muntari no so born ball e Romania ono so sese ono so akodon ne Kotoko so ati ase enti no sese no ase ama league na ase me hu se attracting crofo say okọ ne sanye ya wachi na yeso ba nyese okọ ne nam ba bi ti se Zimbabwe no ne ade bi do e bi abenya scan kakraba na carry an na ayra ena ni eje former Kotoko ni eje ono so assign am Elmina Sharks it won say also wabo work wabo TP Mazembe ajije caps ni bia akwa saba and they say it won say afi no league no yam say champion pa.
Yeah, I think the Ghanaian Premier League should be more competitive as it is before, because seeing Asamoah coming back to Legon City, and there's Amin Kujo, who is a promising player, and then Justice Blay, who was in Kotoko, even in his first call for the Black Star, but luckily, unfortunately, he was not able to represent Ghana because of this pandemic or something like that. So I think in Ghana League, we have a quality players, but the players, they are not staying there for long, because they only stay 1 or 2 years and they have gone somewhere, and then the legacy of them is gone. So I think it's time for them to maintain a place and keep them for long. That was what some of our legacy was saying, that we have to pay them good salary to keep them. So at least if the player can receive 20,000 Ghana cedis, which is 20 million in a month, it's compared here in Europe, it's nothing, but it's good for someone living in Africa earning 20 million Ghana cedis. It is something to step ahead. But the players when end up getting 5 million, 2 million, 3 million, 10 million, and then going to Ethiopia getting 30 million. Why not? They have to move to Ethiopia, which is not helping them.
My break it way, man. 2020-2021 Ghana Premier League winner. 2020-2021 Ghana Premier League winner to get 250,000 Ghana cedis.
Which is how much in euros?
4,000. I think $42,000.
$42,000.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's better than before.
Maybe. And also so done China. And also so we know Division 1 for no. And second division for no. But kubenya 80,000. But kubenya I think second division, you know, first division, you know, 50,000. I say scano me name the category crowd the chase can it mean to me and can be brave, but still me say scanny swap.
Yeah, let's say normally the team coming from Division 1 to the Premier League have to have enough pay than the Premier League, because they have to come and get players to buy players to compete with the league. So you look at the Premier League, if you win the the championship and coming to let's say to Premier League, you get a lot of money, even more than Champions League, or even more than the one who win the Premier League. So you can buy players to compete with the league. So coming from Division 1 to the Premier League without having enough money, that means you cannot buy players to compete with the league, because that is why the league, it is different category, because the player in Division 1 and the player in the Premier League, you know, the experience is something different. So sometimes the Premier League players have the Premier League players have advantage over the new promoted teams, because the players don't have experience, and then secondly too, they don't have money to buy players to compete, and they end up going to relegation again. So if not some of the managers who are very rich, let's say the time Heart of Lions came to Premier League, the manager was having money and they put more money. The same team compared to Brecon Arsenal, Alaji was also having money at that time. When Brecon Arsenal came to Premier League, he was able to pump more money to buy good players to maintain the league. and then when they end up not having money, the team end up going to relegation. So I think sometimes the GFA have to give the new promoted teams good money so they can buy players to compete the league. So order the sponsors to give the clubs money, because some of the clubs don't have sponsors. It's one man show. Let's say Mediama, it is one man show. I don't know they have support how you call it, sponsors or no. But sometimes the teams have to have sponsors that will sponsor them to build stadium, to buy players, to find kit for them or something like that. But if end up without having no sponsors and the team managers have to do that itself, it end up say I'm tired, and when he's tired, the team is going dropping down, and they end up going to relegation. Okay. I know so many teams in Ghana collapsed because it was one man show.
Yeah.
Asante Kotoko will never go to will never let's say demolish from the system, because it is a traditional team. If the Asante it's tired, someone else can come and sponsor, which is for the Asante nation. So it's a team that cannot go down. So I think sometimes in Ghana it's good that we have a traditional team, so the traditional people will support the team. The one man show, sometimes we have to consider it, but we don't have to make it priority, because it end up going to relegation in some years to come.
Yeah, watch him, but do baby, I say, yeah, I mean, who say, make us a mene, who shed down near a dribble, because TP Masimba was a one man show. So, Mr.
But the owner of it is having his own company, good business, like a
one man show.
No, it's for the chief.
No, it's one man show. Even the guy is in Eza on Congo, also or Belgium, or secure political asylum or honor, Timin Congo, and or Denisika, Buan and Crofo. I then a young one, or a large cruiser, when they have it Mensa Yeduma, and fat. When we Vincent Soa Odute Amfa. When say when Georgia Mwako. On San Comusu football administrators and Omun system, then is so kakra. And don't you think, say, Ebi Omusu Roman person called Jitim Nefa? And I say, a secret name, maybe cost Nebia. Yeah, Wabontin, yes, woman team country. Because Mananka, Matitim, Nabe Boame, ya the crater goose percentage, will be a as a Ubia when she woman. Is it then Kakoyan Toka?
You know, in African mentality, we always look at our own interests, what we'll get when you're in a team. I always think what I will get, but I don't think what I will bring into the table, but I always think what I will get. And then secondly, I think it is time for us to do it in a way that, let's say, Asante Kotoko, it's not for one man show. They have supporters. The whole Asante nation, some of them, they are can feel supported, but if Kotoko have a mind, they have to go, because it's for, they know that it's for Asante Kingdom. Let's say it is time for let's say the regions to have a regional team, so the whole region support and the city will be full. So I think it's a time whereby we don't need one man show, we need collective work so that the stadium will be full, because now we need full stadium when we are playing matches to make the football atmosphere in Ghana revive again. Because now no one go to stadium, they go to stadium because someone to whom I know. So I think it's the time that we have to have a regional team, and the whole region will support, will have a regional club or one team, so we'll have a good support into the stadium. The stadium will be competitive. Look at the South African League, when they're playing, the stadium is always full. Look at the Congo League, when they're playing, they have full stadium. But now, I remember when I was in Kumasi going to stadium at that time, when Kotko and Olympics or any team is playing, even in the night, the stadium is always full.
I mean, kind message kakra we na. I'm say, Mr. Jumwame or Shay. Den oni Kejaba almost share and Abigail so hey Abi mechia bebre oni me nana no mechia bebre and Dr. Kejaba was it great sports guys, yeah, no Mr. George Blue on this nice one, yeah, that's it. Amaanah good one, Mr. Kejaba and also a buy and yam say Abnamafo on also a life and a Richmond a J on also a free US abroach mem in Tisana and also team.
So I think what I was saying that is very good for the GFA or the football administration in Ghana to have a regional team that, let's say, if not even the whole Ghana, but the northern side of Ghana, let's say from Tamale, Upper West and Upper East, they should have one regional team that the whole region will have one Premier League team. They will have a support. because they are lacking of funds or the lack of money to raise the team to what, to let the team always be in the Premier League for a long time. It's always RTU. They were in the league even for many years, but Tamale and then Upper East and Upper West. Recently, that Yantechi is able to have Wa also now. Wa will never have a Premier League team. I think it will take them a long time. Bolga was having Bolga United, and then now they're in relegation, and then the lack of funds to maintain to be in the system for a long time. So I think, let's say, if the government will not even do that, but this three northern region, the government have to what, help them with a regional team, and the whole region will support one team, contribute, so they'll have a team that will maintain always in the league. Because most of the good players from Tamale, Upper West, and then they end up going to this team in the northern and the southern region, and they end up without the people that are not enjoying the football atmosphere. Yeah. But they like football. So I think it's time that to have a collective work, let's say every region with regional team, Premier League team. It is compulsory, it's sponsored by the government, and everybody trying to contribute for the city to let the team be active in the Premier League.
Okay. I'm say Savira so de na dwen kire aba nti sa na no so eti. I'm say ball na nkasa no. Ya na minim adekro ntira. Yeah, especially side ono. I'm say minim say sisi ntira because unse nkrofo wo sika ene ade a akade a umetimi dia involve ama game na ide, but it seems so be am pese obese ade no nti no minim adekro ntira because you were talented players utimi so mu pe bibia but emfama wo mo so okay ma mi fro na nanka me pe mediama coach nanka me ne no abobon sem we so but am say network nti no eniema entumi mfa o say in Ghana na player bit say mediama na wabebolo nkotoko no excel let's say so the emphasize player bi wo ebia fuam ana say bia wo me pe teams nketo ani bi.
So in England,
yeah,
Swansea,
and I said outside England kurano ebia me fan say ebia Besiktas and I say bibisa no abebolo ama Manchester United and I say Chelsea and Liverpool no excel pa Chelsea over the performance na outstanding na edu say team no person mo ton no muntimi ntono na player na koma mu no onyanko be ko ba bia ko bolo no as an attitude ne gestures na it means nsa so be player na so ma team ne former team no wo no ne form no be ko form na say I just say cycle na so funny because
I think football it is professional. The work is professional, and you the player have to maintain. You have to train yourself professionally. Let's say if you go to a team and then you want to maintain a team and then do your necessary best, and then you are not able to maintain it's normally have to go back to the team because it is something professional. And you have a contract with the team, and then we have to respect every contract. Every contract is a contract. So even though Justice Blay is a player from Mediama, but he wants to play in Kotko, he went to Kotko, he performed. But end of the day, the contract negotiation is not what certified with the technical handlers of both sides. So for him, Kotko is not the only best team in Africa, or it's not the only best team in Ghana or in the world. So and have a contract, so you have to respect the contract. So I think that one, that's what we call it professional. Professional, what it's mentality. It depends on.
Yeah, I say professional. Yeah. The way see who no. Yo me ba etie for him say yemle no ntino e free sabre eko. O person the message and also person fra obetumi afre ensem ya kan bia obetumi akire wadwene afa ho and also wasem bi kan obetumi aka na ya hwe de eno so eko enti ye bie ahoma no atom obetumi afre na wakire wadwene ya lunu afeto aso. So
I think when we say professional is something whereby you have to respect every activities or every situation that you fall yourself in. You have to train yourself as a professional.
So what Ghana the end
no, it is a contract. And then you a player
ya na unti bi say Ghana ana team bi ya players na o mre bi o moje 1 cedi ni akofa player bi aba na obaye no ya be man pre 30 cedis. So who's the players in Timmy gang up against it and bisa.
That's I
know. Bisa na unti bisa.
Because I know the kind of treatment you have in Kotoko, you don't have that treatment in Nigeria. So and then you have a contract. So with regardless of whatever happens, so you have to respect your contract and go back and knowing that it is a mistake. And I
don't say it take on a personal or what passion or what akuma what live or what akuma ebe best adien obi or mo say be dampen the spirit and
let me tell you, it's not even in Ghana. It happened here. The national player of Cameroon, Collins Faye, he's playing for Standard Liège in Belgium. He's my best friend. I've visited him several times. Look, he came from Romania to Standard Liège. In his contract, he signed 6 years, and then there are some things you have to put in your contract. Look, he's not able to put those things in his contract just because for Romania going to Belgian league and the salary he's getting is something different. Yeah. So he was not interested of going much into his contract, and then end up realizing that what he put on his contract for the first time wasn't good, that would favor him. Now he's a regular player of Standard Liège, winning matches, but he's not getting those kind of bonuses.
Money, yeah.
So like I met him several times when I speak about it, and I said if he's had opportunity, he will move to make the better contract a better salary for him, because what is ending here right now it is very good, but in his contract the winning bonus and those kind of opportunities in his contract is not ending because of he was blind at the other side of the contract in the first time. So I think this is what happens to some of the African players. So that's why, and then he respects the contract. He cannot evaluate the contract. He cannot do anything. So I have to be there till the contract end up before it what to move to different place, and then he's now more a blind. He's now what well civilized, so he can do well in the next contract. So I think what happened to Justice Blay is not something you have to learn from, because we learn more from our mistake than our success. Yeah. So I think this one it's not a mistake, but it's something that he will learn from it for the next step up for his career. If you have the opportunity to move somewhere else in Ghana, or he be in Ghana, he will now know that I'm going to this way with a very good step. So
meaning player be on the first time we sign a contract or join a team no. Sikana the man no. Say oye training na so kai sikana o wana born ni rate me fino. Na born ni bo no so na ni referee na so kasa.
No, I'm telling you this from experience, because I've been meeting some of these players, and then I know some of them how they earn their salary. Some of them their salary wages is totally different. I know some player. He's playing in the second Bundesliga. He's not any other match, and some of them is even sitting on the bench, earning more money than him. That all based on your contract terms, how you negotiate the contract for the first time, or the one who negotiated the contract for you, or where they brought you. Because I remember a team wanted to buy a player from Ghana. I don't want to mention the name of the team or the name of the player. We want to buy a player from Ghana, and I said, "This amount is very good for you. Come, I will sign you." And the player said, the amount that you're missing for me is not enough. And the sporting director of the team said him, this money, if you convert it to African money, it is very huge amount. And this player said, are you stupid? And then hung up the call. And then I really like what the player did, because the money the player is earning is at his current team is even more bigger than the money the new team want to give it to him. So sometimes I think.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Me pacho when you know ahumesi.
Amaanah really asante ni mikase Ghana kumase.
Okay.
Na mechia ni sabile nyina ni dwumadi amodi.
Yeah, Joseph.
Mo can local sports na o kan Justice Blay assembly. Na de ya na me emini. I think say baby amo Germany mini ho. Na ya ne de tine Germany player kese bi e de ma ba ya munika na dot home use no. Football team yeti e de propagate nation no. Ya de e promote nation no bi ati nation nkanti player kese bi ho a oyi ne ho a ya je ne de team kese na team kese na timi apagya player no no so dia apagya ne din apagya no ne din. But ekoba ni say ne say player kese ni akana hye mo beka ye bi to Hamza ba kotoko be bo lo wie ya wan say nya kwan mo bi Hamza ni pagya efa ni bi ena na mo say kan say Ghana league no scanner dem no master ya tuna Ghana ma hwe Ghana ball almost 20 years or more than 20 years me who season ya boliga ya discount so enti this year ket mo ma ya ade
unim tie yen ka say wa ya ade o munya ade o o ma ya ade pa even o matimi kwa to scanning amount me who be there for the first time say ya be ball league ya to din say division 1 benya say premier league we benya say but the chance say on say upon the course in action still players no fight it ebi mu kwatra Togo ni ade no so no etino we have players no sasa mo da bia me cause busa ye hu say MP any ministers eso mu ye demonstration so mu salary ya abosom ya so e maada but ye na edu o machina ye ko a ye de eti wo ho minimum obi outside Ghana or foreigner bi onim Ghana minister bi din but o ka so free na no me no obi ye di nkomo sa na obusa me say me free me ka me krom o Indian you me ka me krom was jan
good
any bondi first no
yeah
so intino ya no pese on anka ya diska wura ye team nim kakra because ya so ye se ni bo che South Africa ye ni bo che Togo ye ni bo but ye league ne so enko so ye nya player papa bi na South Africa be fa no
emede say ya anya sports law no ni anya ni ye say we company a upe so sponsor team muti hoy akula bi ni mbo so na company bi o montem ho no mo sponsor that the sports law no na was ye hwe ni ye na ye star law ni de to wa akula bi o tintem obi team bi won tem mo a company na wo no pe won best sponsor no even it's a partnership kura na be man partnership send your be ya e be ma team ne ho halen kakra because me betimi atichum me football around me down in my life and so now me go company be 4 e wo mentem a ba akukura so mi mu a look at players am team the football peja o e bi anka meye no more than that it is Yakubu Molo what na ho odi nyina ye it is do tem bi a obedwene it is be no no be didi ya player no ni di plus any mu confirm mu bi no it is do tem bi a teams and administrators ye hia good administrators so be tia say good it na me na ya ponza maka so bi a wo don sabe kan me ne wo asem
yo yeah say
mo try so me before ball mu no also mo di ne market still try say on be sponsorship no be ya try to gaga ni apeja Ghana football
yo
na ye nya say the bia hwechante ni ye say nipa no
yo
yate ya mo kasa asem ne mai
Ghana
say nipa no
yate yo
yate abada for
Saviola oh also so te on kanti yo ye de beba awie yo atiefo em say call ne so ono so na adwen kire no eduru time Ghana institutions no companies ne human kitikiti bi wa mo so mon try na mo so players no any teams no asene em say Saviola yem fa we yem yes discussion we na afi yem fa agudie no emra awie Asamoah to Lagos cities Matthew anim kujo to Lagos cities combination who ne say
I think they bought Asamoah plus this Kujo.
Yeah.
So the contract was both of them. That's why the amount is 1 billion euros or something like that.
No, according to Asamoah, I have already react. Sir, we never bontain in speculations. No crebianim. Omu mine and Casapras omu for price beer, omu beer negotiate, omu Asamoah any Kujo nina, omu represented Obian one more Cascas and some say. Tekwa na asempoa omu nenim negotiate ya omu ntem but omu was sad no etimi abeto abonti ntu de emfa ne say yefa omu sika sam ne nto nchen we or they say is omu enu combination wo Lagos cities no fata so I say if Asamoah step we ya team ni ma obe handle we no captain band na man ntu omu say afi omu team no ase me hu say empeje mo na ekwe minim the level of omu team no but me hu say for the inclusion of those two players, experienced player like Asamoah and Nim Kujo, the up and coming superstar no chap. No, if you say Lagos cities and I say better than
it will be like, let's say, it's going to be a competitive league because with former two Black Star players, Asamoah and Fatah with the best experience with the players, Asamoah will motivate them and then with supporters and everything, and then with the favor of referee because Asamoah was going to protect it like Messi and those kind of things. So it will help.
No, Ghana will not protect him like that.
It will help the league. It will help the league to be more competitive, and I think it's something that will help the Ghana Football Association supporters to go to stadium, and the GFA will see this import of Asamoah and try to convince the other ex-players to join the league. Let's say Sklo Muntari can be convinced to join Asofok. I wish for him to join Asofok, so it will bring the rival back again. So I think it's something not bad. And secondly, the GFA, I'm happy with what they are able to do with the league by giving this sponsor or this amount of someone who wins the league, because a Ghana team any such a money can also try to start something somewhere to give the players good salary. Let's say winning this money and then giving each player €1,000 or $1,000 is something good for the player end of the season. You are
me my share interview be Augustine Sifa for the first time was say on Kotokone house na as a ball no do before the game ya catch him say mutimi sha hasa say was so officer agro you promise you 5,000 each which me 50 million so near ball match ni we na bag ni si wonom okwa akofa kan we de so na akọ was wow. Oh I say Sanya mani in every America sent to a player now who say on what them one was so nebia due to some near being here the auto transfer or to say players in beyond how mopa intino me nim said the anu musi fa Guinness Hanya mani now.
I think
what do you imagine Bobo contract fee could be only 50 million da.
Yeah.
No Bobo 2 hours as a 1 hour. Now your disika 5,000 Ghana 50 million. What do you have? So he nim kujo even that the who scanner I say ya to man sa asa na tale mu nyina to unese ofuri ona bia me fa say excuse me to use this way bia agbo Takwa United and I say RTU e watamele ne say wo san ko hye wono ma yam say aso adwene no bedru ba bia okay nya all the time during the playing time no we so beto to nyema but we na da ho na adwene hu na imagine so travel akọ ofuri tamale abesna batema no wa be wini na wo ko ne bia ya ma we bia winning bonus ya ma 2 million and I say am we bia you say 500 Ghana on say what the to kan no baby na wona say level no mu wanti the piano I confused so no ti fa we ni ya fan wrap up na afi yenko
dear woman say Ghana League for me we see all the teams in best of luck for the coming days and then the rest of the team because especially my team and my person this year we are very wonderful now Asante Gold near friend is saying Carolina United because more motivation about Ghana League because they are trying to do important Ghana League and we show all the best team any league never be able to call you and Jeff for phone and bumper say I dare stand up on their mom no more ideas and more scarcity mutume more small mama leaking birthday and Asamoah or Kono. I'm not fan of Asamoah, but I really like the way he did, and then I think it will bring the Ghana League step ahead. Yo. So it will be
okay. You at here for him say Jumadi and yan shada and chebebri kakra bi na bebo boss na ha ne yedi besie enti no yam say sa and ebeye abrama for her and don't know was regards to you and Senuri. Okay, Amaanah and Senuri yeda say yam say don't know no also her and Jumo Amia is watching you also share then I say great job Jumo Amia say great job. Yeah, nti sane kwena me hu se Richard ono so ehwe den nti na Alicia Sewa ono so ehwe wa ya de oni abige ma Hanover for ma me no so mu omani di ball echi eno no nti sane tie yo atiefo nti no ye ncha hu bebre adwumadi no ebe nti no yem se Ghana Premier League na maka chron Saturday ebe baso inti sa ena etie sana etie inti baso inti atiefo yam se mechia obi bia Dr DJ obi biara onya amre se omre de hwe e bia no mechia obi biara ye YouTube handle no eno so VOPAM TV ko no ma obenya e wo ho no ye de obi biara ase nyame enka obi biara ba na otwe se na ye behia.
Let's cherish our hood. Women's Premier League is back again. And the day what dog can one, and EJ can one, the day ration one. Say a day what dog can one, and EJ can one, the day ration one.
Yeah, hey, ya dia ni je shema ebe ye de ye do doka ho ebe ye de. And no more form round. And no more form winter. Yeah, faru ni. E ka ka ni ma mo go from support and what am going to say. Mo ko sara mo tadi e. Mo she. If we say a cast ball. esi e Ghana nkrofo ko ebi mu di nsemone ebi mu ye dede e say the politics bet sia na nkrofo ko bi mu twese kan ebi mu brunu ya no mi hu sa kotoko ne house o mu ne kuta major support e Ghana mi hu so mo hia e de ntoko asia ni da wa so hu bi sa no ka kire me sa kotoko ne house supporters are engaging ntoko brutal ebi nsi ensi eti enim se enye afuwe eni ebe witness sa ade so eti no atiefo e do bibiara ase ya de mu besi he ya nyabe ya adoma na wo twese ne be sa to edumede so yaw nana hindia me chia ba bia obi American burger me chia
Premier League is back again. This is our own. Let's cherish our own.